Well, this is coming as a mega vindication for Republic TV as a shocking CBI statement reveals a sinister conspiracy. Tainted officer Parambir Singh has now revealed the Fix Arnab conspiracy. The political conspiracy to fix Arnab for coverage has now been exposed. What we given to understand is that this political conspiracy to target Arnab Goswami for coverage, this is now proven that Parambir Singh knew of the Fix Arnab conspiracy. This is a sinister conspiracy that was worked out at the top levels in terms of Parambir Singh at that point in time being the Mumbai CP. Now this does appear to be the worst ever political conspiracy, and what we are given to understand is that the nexus has now been established. The CBI statement reveals that sinister conspiracy and the nexus that was established. Parambir Singh has said that Arnab was fixed for questioning the state government. Parambir Singh has said also that Anil Deshmukh discussed ways to target Republic TV and Arnab. Now, these shocking revelations seem to suggest that Vaze was used to target Arnab even before his reinstatement. So, what we are now drawing is also a linkage to his reinstatement into the police force in Mumbai. It was done with a specific intent to fix Arnab Goswami. Now, Vaze reinstated to target Arnab Goswami and Team Republic. Vaze's appointment was aimed at targeting Arnab Goswami. So a nexus now clearly established. Arnab Goswami now joins us. Arnab, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the vindication that now seems to suggest that it was a huge political conspiracy afoot.
Yes, there have been actually a series of vindications, but this one is particularly important because it is in a statement before the CBI. It is a written statement that has been signed by the tainted cop Parambir Singh. And there are 3 or 4 extremely important parts of what Parambir has said. Importantly, Parambir has said that Anil Deshmukh was trying to find a way to fix me. And Parambir has gone on to say that the MVA government wanted to fix me because I was quote-unquote carrying out a campaign against them. Now, I did criticize the MVA government's inaction in the Palghar case, but that is not a campaign. Regardless of that, if a state government and the Home Minister of the said state government, Anil Deshmukh, was trying to find extra constitutional and extra legal ways to target, frame and fix a journalist, then I think the highest courts of the country need to immediately intervene to try and find out the extent of criminal conspiracy and the misuse of office that happened at that time. Because if you see Parambir's statement, he says that Anil Deshmukh was very interested in trying to reopen a closed case against me and was tweeting about it and finding ways to reopen the case. Of course, Parambir tries to pretend that he had nothing to do with it himself and says he was merely playing along, but I don't buy that at all. The other important part of what he has said is, Parambir says that according to his privileged information, the policeman now accused of murder, Sachin Vaze, was handling this Anvay Naik case even before he was reinstated in service. Sachin Vaze was acting on the direct instructions of Anil Deshmukh while he was service, not wearing the uniform, and finding some manner in which to build a case against me. What does this implicate? This implicates that basically the MVA government and the then Home Minister, presumably with the knowledge of the tainted cop Parambir Singh, were talking to people who were not even in service, which means the state executive was trying to hire a private army and a goon, and whose credentials are nothing better than a murderer and a mafia don. Sachin Vaze was being was being entrusted with the responsibility of fixing me even when he was not in uniform. And when he comes back to uniform, Parambir now also goes on to say that Sachin Vaze was told to find ways to fix me before he was in uniform and after he was in uniform. Now remember, all of this is on a sworn statement by Parambir Singh that the CBI has. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the entire media of this country is not reporting this incident, which should be given this publicity. And I request all the people of the country to widely spread this, that today the same man who had the temerity to sit and frame me and fix false charges against me is going around and saying to the country's highest investigating agency that there was an official plot to fix me. It requires the highest level of legal intervention. Parambir, innocence. Parambir is completely complicit. What he's trying to do, because he realizes that the conspiracy has actually been exposed, is try and say that, well, I knew about the conspiracy, but I didn't do anything about it. The question will be, why didn't he do anything about it? And who will believe Parambir when he says he didn't do anything about it? Because Parambir had Sachin Vaze on his left and right constantly throughout the period that he was unfortunately the police commissioner of Mumbai. Now that all the three are in trouble, they are trying to pass the buck, and Parambir thinks that by simply or pleading innocence or saying that he was not part of it, he'll get away, but he won't. So I think this is an extremely, extremely major, explosive revelation that has come out. And I think today that this entire case of malfeasance, malice, of malicious prosecution must be investigated. The malicious prosecution by the Maharashtra government, by the Mumbai police should be investigated. And an example should be set so that no Sachin Vaze, Parambir or Anil Deshmukh can dare to do anything like this ever in the future.
Absolutely, as our editor-in-chief over there is pointing out, this is a series of vindications. Arnab, what we've also, been able to establish is that there were a clear series of events that from the very beginning were intended to target Republic TV for its reportage. That has been talked about for so many decades in India.
To understand that there are various matters of investigation, including the possible complicity of police officials and politicians in the NBFC scam and the crisis which hit the country. We must remember that after that, there was serious criticism of the MBA government's inaction in the Palghar case, over which there was a national uproar. So what was happening is that the state government wanted to find a way to put a leash on an independent channel. And because the rest of the media found Republic to be a competitor they could not deal with, played along. And I think the role of the media again comes into, and there is no reason to be suspect about in the conspiracy against Republic, because they were all playing along. So what is coming out right now is that when they could not tackle the truth that Republic is doing, at that point of time, the then Home Minister Anil Deshmukh was trying to find ways, the most unscrupulous ways, the most corrupt ways, the most morally unacceptable and ethically questionable ways to fix Republic, to fix me. And lo and behold comes a man, a dangerous man, a man with a criminal mindset, a murderer called Sachin Vaze, who comes along and says, I'm willing to help. And he works along with the then Home Minister, according to Parambir Singh, even before he was reinstated into service. And my question is, how many such criminals would one be interacting with? You want to make Republic your enemy, you want to make Arnab your enemy, how many more Sachin Vazes were being... And this unfortunate series of events leads to the reinstatement on the explosive revelations. Parambir says he opposed it. Nobody's going to believe it. Fact is, Param was part of it. But Sachin Vaze was drafted into service, especially with the clear intent of targeting Arnab and Republic. Let there be no doubt about that. And this explosion should be circulated among people of the entire country. They know the extent of the conspiracy. They demand answers of what was going on. And I think, as they say, the chickens have now come home to roost.
Well, Arnab, this is not the first. This is not the first vindication. We've had multiple vindications in the past, multiple statements that have come out and becomes abundantly clear that there was a larger criminal conspiracy. I would say a larger criminal conspiracy at play.
Yes, Shawan, we've had a series of vindications, you are correct. And we shall have a series of vindications further. 4 or 5 things are now firmly established. One, Parambir, Vaze and Anil Deshmukh were working overtime to fix Republic. B, the entire system was corrupted to allow that to happen. C,